Yes, we are back. Back again in Train Sim World 5. Back again to look at another new route and another new country. This time we're off to Holland for the Dutch route. The Zwolle to Groningen. Groningen. I'm going to be pronouncing a lot of things wrong. I apologise if I do. I probably will. A look at this route. We're going to do a couple of four-line runs. One in the funky-looking train from the 70s with the cab bit on the top. One with the commuter train, the Sprinter, I think it's called. The Koplopper, I think, is the first one. So that's what we're going to be doing. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, hello. This is going out on a day, either a Wednesday or a Saturday. So it's either Wednesday or Saturday. There'll be links in the doobly-doo below to where you can get the route. There'll be a link down there to the Twitch page where you can watch me live on the Twitchy, and a link down there to the Discord server as well. Trent, Nico, Ethan, Colin, Nigel and Pina. That's your limited Dutch. Hoi. Is that Dutch? Anyway. Hi McBone. Remember my notes on how to set up the train? Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, there's Zwolle to Groningen. That one. We're going to do a four-line run. We'll start with the funky-looking train. And we'll do a 7:43, I reckon, because that's what I've just clicked on. Rotterdam to Groningen. We'll leave the weather as it is, because, well, why not? How bad can it go? And we'll drive it rather than conducting an orchestra. Now, I've got to remember to do the drive selector thing. I think I remember there's some switchy things I've got to flick, and that's about all I remember. This is going to go well, isn't it? That's a view from outside. Okay. Let's up the volume. Unlock doors. Right, okay. Key in. Drive selecty thing to the driving. Compressor, we'll have that on automatic. Train supply voltage on. EP brakes are on. Brake lock is up. Drive is in forward. We'll unlock the doors. I don't think we've got a window, have we? No. Handbrake. Is that on this one? That's on the other one, isn't it? The handbrake. I think that's on the other one. That's not on this one. This is this one. Which looks like a cartoon drawn train. It looks good, but it just we will have a wander around it. We'll get to the first stop and then wander down from the cab. Apparently, there should have been a walkthrough section in this, so you can get from one to the other, but that was well stopped. Actually, we've got some time. Let's go for a wander. Oh God, that's a thing. How do we get that? Oh, it's steps. 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, you used to be able to walk through from here, but that was changed. Hello, passengers of Holland. Your favourite train? I've never been to Holland. It's one of the places I'd like to go. That was annoying. Don't close it. Close the door. We haven't got the passenger. What's that? That's so you can put your bicycle. Oh no, we got lots of buttons. What do they do? Can we get in those? No. Oh, it's pushed up. Oh, that's a thing. Yes, there will be more of Thomas. Where's my stairs gone? Is it that door? Oh, here we go. Close the door. Oh, I see that door becomes... Oh, I see. Okay. Right. Sit in the seat. Closing of the... That was a noise. Wasn't me, I didn't do it. Headlights, centre, on. Headlight left. Headlight right. Headlight. Train lights, on. Ah, there we go. Gauge lights, we'll have some of those as well. Right, stopping 39 miles at Assen. Brakes. Are on Phil. He's a nice guy. He's coming around later. We're moving. There's movement. That's got to be our thumbnail. Right, so what I'm going to do is do a 4-line run this way in this one. And then we'll do the return run in the other one. And then see what we've got as far as there's some shuntery stuff as well. And we're stopping at some places. Assen and Groningen. So, well, 2 stops. Maybe I picked the wrong route. Yeah, the only things I've done in Thomas are the things that have been on YouTube so far. I'm at home this weekend, so I do plan on doing some recording of some bits and pieces. And potentially home for the next couple of weekends. So lots of recording going on. Yeah, this train's not as daunting as I thought it was going to be when I first stepped into it. It certainly looks, well, funky is the word. Obviously, I think I can see the reasoning for that design, so they could link 2 trains together, so you could walk between the 2 of them. Which obviously we solve here, and modern trains solve by having the cab over to one side. I'm guessing that's where the engine is, motor is. It's a little bit sway. It does seem as though you are quite high up, which I'm guessing, well, you are. It has got a few lights. I actually watched a YouTube video yesterday on a 3-wheeler that was available in America that had 4 doors, and because of classifications in America, had 3 lights. So it had like a Cyclops headlight in the middle. Got a funky looking thing. This train reminds me of Big Alice and a Snowpiercer. I've never seen Snowpiercer, but yeah, it does look almost like a comic book train, doesn't it? And I can certainly see the advantages of being sat up there. Right, we're going to get a bit more speed. Speed and power, power and speed. So yeah, this is one of those odd embargoes last night. So my embargo on it was 9 PM last night, which is why I didn't stream it. So I did the train training videos. Hopefully when the next thing releases, we're back to a normal embargo again. So whether we'll see much stuff coming the other way. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know why they did it. So at least we get to preview it before the release. But Dovetail had planned on streaming it last night and didn't want us putting out content before they did. Yeah, I sort of get that. Right, this is going to be a little bit jolty because the first time I've run the route on this PC. But yeah, I do like the train, so I've not done a 4-line run yet. So we'll see how that goes. A bit of a distance between stops, so hopefully on the commutery one that we do after this, there'll be more stops, being that it's the commutery one. I feel like I've not been in ages. Well, yeah, you've been off gallivanting. I've been off gallivanting. I like the water effects. Obviously better than X-Plane, which everything is. How was the worky thing? It was a day. Catching up on emails. Yes, I'm going to be here for a while now, though. No more gallivanting planned. X-plane is like the OMSI of planes. My OMSI had been uninstalled, not intentionally. I had an issue with Steam yesterday. I had to reinstall Steam, and in uninstalling Steam to reinstall Steam, it uninstalled OMSI and Train Sim Classic and a few other games. No, the Heathrow thing was fine because we weren't affected. Works were still carrying on in the terminal. People were still working in the terminal. So what we were doing for work wasn't affected on Friday. Are they refurbishing it? They're always doing work at Heathrow. It's certainly a weird, like, 3-car train. This first coach is really long. I don't know if that's a standard length of coach, but it's certainly long. Any brown envelopes? No. I got someone looking at the bumper of the car tomorrow, though. Reckons a heat gun and a bit of a push will sort it out. I got a quote back for £450. So for that money, I just won't bother repairing it. Hi, Michael. I did look at that on eBay. Repairing what? I reversed into a tree. The tree won. Power. Oh, quite nice. We've got the rivers either side here, look. Obviously, lots of irrigation going on. The tree, yeah, I was parked and the tree attacked my car. It definitely reminds me of the East Coast Main Line. The tree had a dash cam, yeah. I'm not going through the insurance, it was my fault. Not risking that. If it costs me too much, I'll just leave it. It's not affecting, it won't fail an MOT, there's nothing protruding, it's just a little dent in the bumper. And down the bottom of the bumper as well, so it's fine. So I got someone at work who used to be a mechanic who's going to come in tomorrow and have a look at it. So that, and the speeding thing wasn't my best weekend away. Right, we're still 32 miles from Assen. Where do we go? The New Forest, well, Paul, and then across to the Isle of Widget on Saturday, and then Portsmouth on Sunday. I see a train. That's the modern one. That's a Sprinter. We're going to use that on the return. It is quite bouncy as trains go, and seems really close to the top of the bridge. And we're really close to the overheads, well, because we are. Well, it is. We're almost. We're almost at a similar height to the pantograph. They don't have the up and down train model. It's only these two trains you get, the Sprinter and this. Oh no, there's steps behind us. No, the speed thing won't put my car insurance up because I should be within the zone to be able to do a driver awareness, speed awareness course. So now I'll just do that. Then insurance don't need to know. No points on the license. Done. It is. It always like a plane vibe to it, and that was a floating car. So you can see the benefit to it being up there, because the original concept was to be able to go straight through. Obviously, at that point, then you wouldn't drive it from up here, but I can see why you'd have it up out the way. But say the modern stuff, it'd be down and to the left or to the right, depending on which side they drive on. Oh, that's speeding. Where are we going? Groningen. Alright, slowly. Exactly. You don't have to tell them. I googled that today because it's not affected your license. Amstel. You're just thinking of beer, Colin. I can see why we slowed down for that. It's a bit of a corner. Grouch? We're in Sesame Street. Not much happening on this route. Well, look at the map. It's lots of straight bits of... Look at that. It's lots of straight bits of track. Which I suppose if you're doing a train route, then you go by the most direct route, don't you? You draw a line from A to B, or A to B via C. And no hills. Although in the training video it did say about controlling your speed going downhill. What? Sorry? Isn't it Dutch? Because they're known for their mountains. The hills are alive to the sound of daffodils and whatever else Holland's famous for. Paintings? Down in the valleys, isn't it? Lovely in the valleys. So yeah, I like the train. It's almost one of those where, I hate to say it, but the train's better than the route. Because the other train's really nice as well. Which say we will use on the return. Oh, another one going the other way. It's a fairly frequent service. Hang on, we're going uphill. This can't be right. There's a 0.1% gradient. What if cars sold in Holland have the hill start assist? That's never going to go wrong, is it? Unless you're in a multi-storey car park or something, of course. Or hill descent control if you buy a Land Rover. Any windmills? I've seen a couple of wind turbines. We're not going anywhere near Amsterdam. Amsterdam Centraal. I'm guessing this train doesn't run there, which is why I can see why they picked this train. You go to Amsterdam, you see it all there. Well, I'd like to. It's actually a really nice train. I like the modelling. Well, at least you haven't crashed into a tree or got done for speeding, Ethan, so think of that. I'm not going to turn the safety systems on because they're a nightmare from what I can see. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, Slowly-ing. I obviously didn't see the reduced speed. I can see why now. Like, whizzing through the platform. Who stole a tablet from that mount? Well, yeah, it's for drivers that watch Netflix. Long straight bits of track. They can watch episodes of Thomas Tank Engine while they're driving. This is the bendy bit then. You can tell that by the way that it's, well, the bendy bit. Get a lot of camera collisions. So the modelling's nice. Right. Power. Alright, we've still got 25 miles from our first stop. We're in on 12. Yeah, nice train. Well modelled. And it accelerates fairly quickly as well. Yeah, I think Holland's one of those countries that I'd like to explore by road. I think it'd be quite nice to sort of explore the countryside. I think it's one of those countries where it's stereotyped as being, you know, all about Amsterdam, and the country's nicer when you leave Amsterdam. A bit like we found with Belgium. Going to that coastal bit that we did, really nice. I think going back there in the summer, it would be a really pleasurable place to go. That's a straight bit of track. It has got hints of East Coast Main Line, just with obviously more canals. Because East Coast Main Line's, or that part of the country, the UK, is not known for its canals. You can almost see this as being like a high-speed route. Hang on, we've got another 20 minutes to do 24 miles. If this speed stays up here, and I'm not going flat out, the speed stays up here, then that ain't going to take 20 minutes. Yeah, I think Holland's one of those countries that's really strict on, like, speed. Yeah, I've heard Switzerland's where there's zero tolerance. Oh, you remember when that was all the rage here, that people used to have those radar detectors in their cars that detected where the police were? And then someone brought out an atlas, you know, road map of the UK showing all the speed camera positions. So people used to pick routes where there's no speed cameras. Maybe I should have done that. We haven't got any in Wiltshire. It's fine, I'm not used to them. Not high speed anyway. Well, 99.9% of the time. It's definitely a long, straight route. You're not really having to like slow down for bends, are you? Oh no, that was a little bend. How do we cope with that? Again, I get the logic. If you're trying to, if you're trying to get from point A to point B, then you know you draw a straight line. The Romans did. It was right. We want to go from here to here, straight line. That's the, you know, the the shortest distance between the two places. That's what you make your train route or your road. So I get it, and from a speed point of view, if this was a high speed route, I'd understand it. But is there a maximum speed that they allow in Holland? And is that 85 miles an hour? Oh, there's one of those at Cheltenham train station, Michael. Makes me look twice about it all the time. Apparently they're quite effective. Although I did see was it on an episode of QI where they had them up north, where they proved to be effective until people started stealing them. Yeah, but I'm not on a motorway. I meant on the tracks. Is this like America where trains can't go faster than a certain speed? Because you'd think with a perfectly dead straight track that you'd have a speed limit of more than 85 miles an hour. On track, it's 140. So is this thing limited? I bet there's no one used to the British. Oh, we go. Well, no, that's not a thing. Yeah, this is limited to 160. So this bit of track then is 85. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Eurostar goes through. We've still got 20 miles to go to Assen. It's definitely one of those routes you could just, you know, set the throttle and go make a cup of tea. So the stuttering you're seeing is because it's the first time I've done the route on this PC. Actually, I'm wondering if this is that could also be a my computer issue. I don't think this is running in DX12 because I have to reinstall Steam. That might be the issue as well. That's water. Yeah, I think this could be a DX12 thing because I had that issue when I first started playing Train Sim World 5. Right, 18 miles. to Assen. What I might do then is we'll get to the other end. Then yeah, I'll restart the game and run it in DX12 and see if that makes a difference. Despicable Me 4, good. It's not my favourite. First one's better. We watched the first Minions film on Friday, which you need to watch that first. If you're watching them in chronological order. Also, we got Toy Story 5 next year, I think. I said it on yesterday's stream, but I finished watching Adolescence yesterday, and then actually watched a bit of a documentary thing on how it was filmed, and a lot went into it. It's so cleverly filmed. And I can highly recommend it. It's definitely worth a watch. I think certainly people of a generation, so the younger generation, should watch it. Episode 1 gets you gripped. 2, it's a bit of a slower story. 3 is intense. You really need to focus on 3. And 4, yeah, it's not as good as 1. But still worth watching. Yeah. Right, we're 15 miles from Assen. I'm going to work on my entertainment stream this weekend. It's one of my plans. And then try and get that slotted in for Easter. So that may be like a Easter Sunday or something like that. Yeah, the bit that amazed me, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, and I do recommend it. But the young lad that plays Jamie, it was his first thing he's ever done, as far as acting, and wow, he's got a career ahead of him. The way he did that episode 3, bloody hell! At one point, he scared me. Yeah, I was almost gutted that you don't see him in 2 and 4. Like, oh, he's only in 2 of the episodes. Right, 12 miles. I don't know why this is taking... Are the distances off? Because at 60 miles an hour you cover 10 miles in 6 minutes. Yeah, it says we're going to take another 9 minutes to do 11 miles at 87 miles an hour. How's the new route? Very straight. 10 minutes, 10 miles at 60. No wonder we're done for speeding. 60 miles an hour. Yes. Every 10 minutes is 6 miles. No, every 6 minutes is... I don't bloody know. Hang on, no. God, it's got to go back to rudimentary maths. Right, 60 miles in an hour. So in half an hour, you do 30 miles. So in 10 minutes, you do 10 miles. Yeah, okay. That took longer than it should have done to work out. But we're doing 87. So that's nearly 90. So in theory, it should take 7 minutes. Welcome to Maths 101. Hopefully the sprinter route that we do on the way back has actually got some stops in it, because this is just 30 something miles without stopping, and yet the stuttering I will solve when I get to the other end. I'll restart the game and fire up in DX12, start to reinstall Steam. What's the horn like? Quite horny. Like someone squeezing a duck. At some point soon, I'm going to have to think about braking. I'm slightly scared by that prospect. Dutch Goose. Sounds like a whiskey brand. I've been on the Dutch Goose all weekend. Head's a mess. Tomorrow night, by the way, something. I'll try and find something single player, something new to do. So that'll be tomorrow night. Continuing on the single player Wednesday thing from where we did As Dusk Falls for a few weeks. Wednesday night, no, that's tomorrow. Thursday night is going to be farming. Friday night, maybe some trucking and tunes. There's not enough of us to do the quiz that we had planned, so some trucking, and you can play some music. Saturday night, Roblox golf, and then Sunday, back on the farm. And then more things back next week. Yeah, it's definitely, and I'm not going to knock the graphics. Graphically good. Train I like. And the route's probably very accurate. It's just not the most exciting of routes. There's been a couple of other trains coming the other way, but I think it's worse because it is just long, straight lengths of track. Yeah, train modelled well, but we'll do the sprinter on the way back and see what that's like. Well, the train was nice. I did it in the train training, with the training of the train. I've actually got a slight downhill gradient going on here. Means all the water's going to run downhill. again, from a travelling between two places point of view, perfect. Straight track, done. I should imagine this track's been here for a long time. But it does seem odd that with these straight tracks that we're only doing these speeds. I don't think Assen to Groningen, the other place, is that far, so the track bed is too old for faster speeds. Well, replace the track bed. It's quite a simple thing. Dig it up, put some faster stuff down, the concrete things. Right, we've got a yellow. Then we got a 50. And 1.8 miles to go. Well, yeah, that's true. At least not. Oh, that's definitely jittery. Oh, yeah. At least not American high speed. Well, their bright line thing, that still doesn't go that fast, so does it? One day I'll get to America. Yeah, this jittering is because I'm running it in DX12. This is a my PC thing, not a root thing. When we get to the other end, I will restart the game and run it in DX12, so we'll get a better representation of the route on the way back. If the game doesn't crash. Oh, there we go. I have to reinstall my Steam so it's not running in DX12 by default. We're actually early. And we do seem really high up compared to the platform. And there's the Sprinter over there to our left. That's the one we're going to be bringing on the return. Is your ball on the roof? Yeah. Done. Oh, 3 seconds late. That's not bad. So it's quite interesting being a driver of these things because you are just above everything else. But I don't. Yeah, but there's nothing down below unless that is where the motor is in that front portion. But you think nowadays they'd be underneath. Right, lock doors. Front portion used to be open. Yeah, that's what it said. Oh, right, 15 miles. Okay. We'll do that and then say I'll restart it before we do the return. Yeah, so they if you couple two together, you go through the gap in the middle. Yeah, but I was saying the trains now, the cab would just be over to the left, wouldn't it, or over to the right, and then you'd go down the side of the where the cab is, which is what you do now on like EMUs and DMUs. You go down the middle. Definitely a revolutionary design from a viewpoint of view. You've got an advantage being up here, unobstructed views. Obviously, you haven't got any low bridges to worry about. Yeah, like the 350, etc. You shouldn't design a train for just in case you get in a crash. The driver's got more chance to survive. Yeah, it's not the passengers. It's definitely a design. I said went on the double-decker trains in Belgium. Do like those. Weird when you're sat downstairs because when you're sat there, you're looking out at people's feet when you're on the platform. Right, so we'll do the run. Down. And then so I'll restart it in DX12 and then we'll do the return run in the Sprinter and then see what time we've got after that. Yeah, I'm going to be honest and say it's not the most interesting route because it's all straight track, but I like the trains. And I think this being a two-stop run, not the most exciting. Hopefully the Sprinter stops at every stop, so that'll make it better. But yeah, it looks good. So I haven't had an opportunity to make use of it over the weekend because I didn't get back till Monday. Well, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Take it on a UK route, it'd get decapitated. Depends on the. Actually, it depends on the height of the. Because some of our trains with the pantograph will dip down to go through tunnels and under bridges. So although this is under the height of the pantograph, I'll take it on the Bakerloo line. It certainly wouldn't fit through there. But it'd be interesting taking it on something that's just got standard bridges on. We might have to do that. And yeah, I really like the other train as well, the Sprinter train. So my hope, which I hoped would be the case for Train Sim World 5, my hope for Train Sim World 6 is that Dovetail allow us to train swap. So pick a timetable. It gives you a choice of the current train, but allow you to change the train. Pick something else, but keep the same timetable. That would just make this whole thing just open up for me, because then you can take any train you like on any route you like with a timetabled service. And it'd be interesting then to see if on Southeastern High Speed, you know, you can get a HST to match the timetable. If on the West Coast Main Line, you could get Thomas Tank Engine to match the timetable. I think that would just, you know, route hopping, great, but I think being able to do that would just be brilliant. If I come off the release preview, I should be able to put my mod in, which I can't currently, and then you can get it to ignore the voltage. so it'll just work. But yeah, like the train, say the Sprinter, the other one, is really good as well. And we'll jump in that once we get to the other end. I really like Cardiff branches. That is good. That's certainly. I really like the fact that we got such a mix of stuff. You know, you want to do a long section with no stops, you got that. If you want to do freight, you've got that. If you want to do high speed stuff, you got that. If you want to do really interurban stopping services, you've got those. You know, when Train Sim World first came out, I didn't ship to it because there wasn't much. I stayed with Train Sim Classic because there was more, because the routes were longer. Now, because of Steam, my Train Sim Classic has been uninstalled, and unless something major happens in Train Sim Classic, I've got no plans on reinstalling it. It's the longest straight line in the Netherlands. It's definitely quite straight. Yeah, not the most exciting of routes. Oh, blimey, that was close. But yeah, I do like the train. I can see why they've done this route. If this is the only route that these trains run on, then there's your reason. And yeah, the stuttering you can see is me. I'm not running this in DX12 because I had to reinstall Steam. I will be doing that. I'll be restarting the game in DX12 after this, so hopefully the return journey will be better. These trains run almost everywhere. Okay. I thought it might have been the case of these only ran on this route, so that's why they picked this route. You'd think you'd go from like Rotterdam or Amsterdam then, wouldn't you? You know, have Amsterdam Central in there. But, you know, this is the first Dutch route. It may not be the last Dutch route. A bit like, hopefully, we get more from Transport for Wales. Now we've got one that seems to have gone down really well, Cardiff branches. And hopefully, you know, we get more London Overground. We got two now. We want the rest. We got a red. Oh no, it's gone green. Okay. Oh, okay. So slowly phasing these out and replacing them with more modern stuff, which makes sense, really. I like it though. It's funky. It's just a shame it didn't go quicker. That's definitely struggling on the X11. Right, 4.6 miles. There's a couple of them over there. Sort of depot. Right, slowing it down. $50-mile-an-hour limit in 2 miles. I think it's like a 4 trains an hour service, so you're not seeing that much going the other way. Obviously we're seeing nothing in front of us, but we're not being put around the stopping services. In any other situation you'd have a fast line and a slow line, so the stopping services must be less frequent, because otherwise we'd be getting caught behind it. We'll see what it is on the return. Alright, 2.7. On a 30-minute schedule. I suppose then if there's 30 minutes, yeah, you wouldn't catch it up then on a hour-long run if it's 30 minutes in front of you. Although I think the stopping service only takes 10 minutes more. Oh, jittery. There we go. We'll find out soon. But yeah, I do like the train. Train, good. Jittering, not so good. Yeah, so I've done the train training, which went out on YouTube this morning in the Sprinter, and I really like it. Not as good as a 153, obviously, but I really like it. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Yeah, I'm going to leave my verdict for after the Sprinter run, Nigel. I will, of course, give you my honest opinion. I don't think it's got that same instant want to buy it that Cardiff had. And of all the things that we've had released recently, I think Cardiff's the only one that I think within 30 seconds, probably unrealistic, within 5 minutes, it was yes, 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 and yes. I think Thomas has got that initial appeal and fun, and yeah, I will work through the scenarios and we'll stick them out on the YouTubes. But I can't see, once you've done all the timetable runs, which again I will do, I can't see that's something you'll go back to. And that's the thing with this and a lot of the routes. You know, there are routes that you jump back on and do them because it's got that appeal. London Commuter's got that for me. Birmingham Cross City's got that for me. I think Cardiff is one of those, and West Coast Main Line South have all got that. You want to go back and do more. Thomas, great, brilliant. I love what they've done. I think it's an awesome franchise. I hope that means eventually we get Sodor and all the other engines, because that would be amazing. And that would be really, really good. Are we going to test out the buffers? No, we're okay. Right, let's unlock the doors. And again, people that are local to this will like this because it's the local route. They're used to the trains. And I do like the fact we're getting new countries. We've got the new, the Tadami line coming up soon. That's going to be awesome because it's somewhere new in the world. So I really am liking that. Because otherwise we end up with, you know, a German route, a British route, an American route. That's it. And you go round and round and round. So it's brilliant that we're getting all sorts. And if that means that we end up with stuff from India, imagine how awesome Indian railways would be. And stuff from like Australia or South America. I just think there's so much potential to give us those little chances to be in charge of stuff from all over the world. It'd just be amazing. So really, really can't wait. Right, I'm just going to change it to run on DirectX. There we go. And then we'll restart it again. And hopefully now. Right, what we'll do now is we'll do the Sprinter route on the way back. And see if it's better. At least the Sprinter's easier to drive. He says, hopefully. But yeah, I've said this over the last couple of weeks. If there was one franchise, I always used to say, if you go back a couple of years, watch streams, and I used to say that if I had to pick one sim and one sim only to do and not do any other content, back then it was Train Sim Classic. Now it would be this, because there's so much variety. I could stream 5 days a week doing a different route each night and not get bored. And because by the time you got back round to the start again, you would then, the time of day would be different. You could use a different train. You could do some scenarios. You can mix things up by putting other trains on it. By the time you've gone round them all a couple of times, the next DLC's out. And there's a new route to add into the mix. There's another, you know, just thinking, 6 months' time, we're going to have Train Sim World 6. That's not long. 6 months. That could be my last hurrah, my final Train Sim World that I'll be covering. So hopefully they make it a good one. Right. So let's jump back in. So Timmy Table. So we're going to use this one this time. So we'll do the full run, but we'll go the other way. So Groningen to Zwolle. We'll do an 8 o'clock. We'll make the weather a bit better. We'll go August. July is better. Exactly, Rich T. I remember doing the West Coast Main Line for the first time and going, holy wow, this is awesome. And now it's been 6 months. And I love it that we're getting all this content. that there's so much good stuff. You know, all of it isn't for everybody, and that's the great thing about having it all, is that inevitably there's going to be something for most people, and that's great. Right, headlight, normal headlights. So we're in this little beastie now then, making our way back. So we didn't actually go and have a look inside this thing, did we, on the train training? Hello, people of Holland. Hoogervugen and Meppel and Zwolle. So 3 stops. Okay. I thought it was 6. Obviously we're not stopping at all of them on this one then. Okay. Welcome. That's a weird door. Okay, I like the fact we got a bit of a organics, plastics, and the rest. Okay. Oh, I see. First class, second class. Hello, first class people. Right. I did say I'd look, see if we can turn down the air conditioning, didn't I? What have we got over here? Emergency brake override, passenger entry, dispatch cut in. Well, that's the cab emergency vent. Snooze signal, cleaning signal. Okay. Oh, I don't think we can turn the air conditioning off. Right. Lock doors. We can turn the reading lights off. Cab light, train lights on. Okay, stop at Euro Park. Oh, it's more than that. Oh, I made a noise change. Right, yeah, Euro Park, Harren, Assen. Well, that display in the thing was wrong then, wasn't it? Hoogerven, Meppel, Zwolle. So we are stopping at all the stops. That's better. Okay. Feels a bit weird sitting this low down now. It scrolled. Well, it shouldn't have scrolled. So is Europa Park a bit like a parkway station then? So encouraging people to park their cars there and then jump on the train for the final bit into the main city centre. I was connected to a football stadium. Oh God, why do you want to stop there then? We get all the footballists getting on. Well, not at 8 o'clock in the morning, I suppose. There's a very early football game going on. A little bit late. It's fine. Or what if you don't apply for your sciences? Bee-da, bee-da, bee. Oh, I can do that. Hang on.
Beedo, 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 beedo.
There you go. See? All trains sound like that. They've got minions inside them stopping you getting out the train or warning you that the doors are open. We will sound the warning that the doors are open. Beeda, 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 beeda. Right, locking doors. It's that one. I forgot what button it was then. Right, 2.4 miles to Harran. So yeah, liking the two trains. Maybe this being the stopping service will be better than the non-stopping service. Not Sharon, Harran. It's got notes of like London Overground to it. With the audio. He's built by the same people. Oh god, no, don't turn the brakes off. I forgot it was a single-handed lever then. I use my flight throttles for this, so halfway is off. Push it forward from halfway, it's brake. Pull it down, it's accelerate. Of course, in the other train, I could put it all the way back and it would just be off. So I have to think when I go from a single-handed to a double-handed, as it were. But yeah, one of the best things I did was configure my throttles to use it in this. It just makes it so much nicer because you're just moving a lever rather than pressing a button to accelerate or brake. It just feels more realistic then. Right, well, this already feels better because we're not going 40 miles before stopping. Oh, well, that had a 6 on it for some reason. I'm actually liking the fact the air conditioning is cutting on and off. Trying to keep me cool. It's got the sort of London Overground / 700 vibes about it. Obviously, it hasn't got the same motors as a 700 because they're really distinctive. So I don't know who builds these. Is it Siemens? That's a Sprinter. I wonder if that's why it sounds familiar. I wonder why it's got the same train doors noise. Is the AC on the right screen? Climate. Aha. That's better. Nice one, Nico. You're not as stupid as you look after all. Right, 13 miles to Assen. Oh, that's better. We can actually hear the traction noise now. Built by a company called CAF. Okay. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, I'm definitely liking the train now. That's so much better. I might be sat here sweating, but built in Newport, Wales. What? So it's built in Wales, is it? I thought that's where trains go to die. There's a train scrap place in Wales. CAF Newport is a rolling stock factory located in the Celtic Business Park, Llanwen, Wales. According to Wiki, it's built in Spain. Okay, unless bits of it were built in Wales. Might be one of those, be like Airbus thing, where it's built in various locations. You know, the Welsh shave a sheep and put that into the seats, maybe. Yeah, now the aircon's off. This is better, and I'm actually preferring it now. Not being a 40-mile dash to the next stop. I can cope with it, sort of 5 to 10 mile. The UK trains are built in Newport. I That would make sense, I suppose. I thought Siemens and Hitachi were the big ones, because Hitachi make all the 800s, didn't they? Who knew there was so much train manufacturing going on? But yeah, preferring this now. I like the other train, but the fact that it didn't do the stops made the route not exciting. Okay, so the 197s are built in Wales. I hope we get more modern stuff for the Cardiff City. It won't be long before someone does a modern timetable for that and swaps out the HSTs and puts the IETs in there, because we've already got them in the GWR livery. Livery. Not livery. That's a place where you keep the books. Alright, 6.8 miles to Assen. So there's definitely a bit of a gap between stations, but I suppose no more so than you'd get on a main line here, 10 miles apart. Sometimes you get more than that. But yeah, this train makes the route better. Also because you're not sat 25 feet up in the air. Alright, 5 miles to go, 4 minutes to get there. I know I'm not going as fast as I should go. I'll speed up a little bit. Yeah, I like the deep rumble from the audio. Of course, yeah, I was thinking this speed-wise as being 160. Well, it's 160k, isn't it? My speedo's set in miles, so we're currently doing 133k. Still not rapid. And this sort of speed is where you'll get your 150s and your 166s. Maybe not your 150s. We're on a 166 on Saturday. No, Sunday. I do like a 166. They are starting to show their age a bit now, though. Not the most comfortable thing in the world. Although anything's more comfortable than an IET. Right, we've got a 50. So yeah, if the rest of the gaps are 10 miles maximum, it's actually could be a better route on the commuter line than on the high speed line. Right, so under our 50, so we've got that bend, which is the reason we've got the 50, I think. And then we come to Assen. A few seconds late. There we go. Hey, that weren't a bad bit of stopping. Bee-da, bee-da, bee-da. That coupler looks familiar as well. Also looks the same as on the 150s and stuff. See, that's the same as we've got on the IETs here, isn't it? I think. Where one cone goes inside the other. One of these cones is not like the other. Right, Bellen is in 9.8 miles. And we got 7 minutes to get there. Yeah, I like this train. Power. Alright, so we got Bellen, Hugeveen, Meppel and Zwolle. So another 40 minutes. just about right. Plus the fact that I'm going to be late. It's not the quickest accelerating thing, but I suppose they're not designed for that, because it's not doing like stopping every mile, so it's geared for the higher speed rather than the faster acceleration. We're 2 units together as well, so we're 3 cars. Haven't seen any tulips yet. That's Amsterdam. Amsterdam is the flower capital of the world, isn't it? Or Holland. Never been a fan of flowers. We give someone flowers. Here's something that's going to die soon. This thing was growing lovely and was looking nice, but then it got removed from its source of nurture. It got shipped across the channel, sent to a florist, put in a van, delivered to you just to say I love you. No. You don't bring me flowers anymore. Just don't. Stop it. A plastic flower from Poundland. I thought you were sodding off, Ethan. Or are you just hiding offline? Cheerful chat. Indeed. Look, we're nothing if what can't work. We're nothing if not random and honest here. No, he hasn't got this route because it's not out. Well, actually, it came out today. All right, 4.7. I like the trains, I really do. This train's actually really well done, and I like the other one for its quirkiness. This way on this route, so not this way, but the commuter route, more interesting than the non-stop bit, because you've only got that 5 to 10 mile distance, that's the word, between stops. I think next week we'll do some more Thomas. We'll go through the timetable bit with Thomas. Maybe not the full line runs, but we'll go through all the other bits with Thomas and Diesel. So we'll do that next week. Right, 3 miles to Beilen. Not Biden, although a lot of people wish he was still around. This reminds you of that bit in Cardiff, where you've got that long straight bit of track linking the couple of stations. This is just more spaced out than that. Right, we are going to be running a little bit late, but it's fine. Okay, hi. So yeah, trains, good. Like them. Route, well modelled. Accurate, probably. In my opinion, could they have chosen a more interesting route in Holland? Probably. Whether this was chosen because it's just long straight bits of track and it's easy to model. Right, braking. Okay, we won't be getting off on the left then. Do not open left-hand doors, otherwise passengers have to climb over the railing. And they probably won't appreciate that. And stop. Be-da, 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 be. Well, this route initially reminded me of the East Coast main line because that's just straight and not a lot going on. This is straight with not a lot going on. But, you know, the trains, sometimes it's the route that's a selling point. It's like West Coast Main Line North, Preston to Carlisle. Brilliant route. Awful trains. Don't like it. Which is why I think I've streamed it once. No rush, no plans to go back to it. Don't like that era of trains. This brilliant trains, not interesting route. That's why we've got this variety. Right. 8.5 miles to Hoogeveen. I'm still waiting for someone to do a modern timetable for West Coast Main Line North. Well, giving it 4 beans now. We haven't seen a lot. Well, I was saying that. We have seen a couple of trains come the other way. There's been a few. Yeah, we said that with Cardiff branches, that certainly with the popularity of Barry, that I do think they made a mistake by not doing that route down to Barry. I would have rather had that and not had the other bit, the north end. I would have rather been able to go down to Barry, and I think it would have been, you know, a bit of a marketing thing for them as well. Go to Barry Island. You know, taking a train to Gavin and Staceyland, because that station appeared in the show. I think that would have been a better selling point than one of the other branches at North. Whether that means we're not going to get another route, and you know, we don't know what Train Sim World 6 is going to bring. Could it be that they'll finally be able to link routes together? And this is just me speculating. You know, wouldn't it be awesome to go, here's another Cardiff route. We've now added on Barry and the airport and whatever else is down that way. If you've got the existing route and you now buy this new route, they'll link together. So you can then do all the way down to Barry because the two link together. That's my hope with the Paddington to Reading and some of the other routes. You know, then give us Reading to Bristol or Reading to Cardiff, because then that would link. Because you only have to do is Didcot, Swindon, Bristol Parkway, Newport, Cardiff. How awesome would that be then? Because then you could do Paddington to Cardiff if you got the two linked together. That's where this would be this would just step it up a game. And if they don't run on consoles for that, fine. A lot of other sims don't run on consoles. Train Sim Classic doesn't run on console. Has that hurt the game in the time that it's been out? No. ETS2 doesn't run on console. Has that hurt it? No. If they did things like that unfortunately only ran on PC, would it hurt it? No. Sometimes having something like that is the reason people have or need to then invest the money for a PC. So, you know, those are my two wishes for the next Train Sim. The ability to link routes together and the ability to switch trains. So you pick your timetable, where you go on the right hand side to select your train, you have another drop down to go choose your own train, and you put whatever train you like on it. And to have it so that those routes that are linked together, like we've had with Mild May, etc., load them in as tiles like we do with OMSI. ETS2, look at the size of the map in ETS2. Surely they've got the ability then to go, when you come to these stations where they're linked, it just loads in the other line before you get there graphically. So you can then get off a train and then, so you could take London Commuter down to Brighton. Rather than have to route hop, the trains going on the East Coastway are there. You get on one of those and take it straight down to Eastbourne. You come back, the London Commuter stuff's there. You get back on one of those, go to London. Game changer. Something that simple, just link the two routes together. No, Michael, there's a market for console gaming. I started out on consoles. There is still a market for consoles. It's a big market for consoles. The difficulty is with simulation gaming. I know why they want to put it onto consoles, to open up the market. And, you know, I can certainly see the appeal. To be able to sit with an Xbox controller or PlayStation, if you're weird, on your sofa and have this on the TV and just sit there and drive. Brilliant. No wires, nothing. Great, which I know you can do with PC as well. So I definitely get the appeal. Farming. I started doing Farm Sim on console. All my older gaming. Before I started doing this, I only had a console. all my gaming was done on the Xbox before I made the switch to PC gaming. So there's certainly a market for it, and they are just high power PCs now. So I can see the benefit of console gaming. I'm not saying, disregard that section of the market, because that is a big section of the market, but there's so much potential they could do with this. If Train Sim Classic, you can link maps together easily. If, say, ETS2, you can link, you can have the whole of Europe in, and you can just drive anywhere without it loading anything in, obviously, then why can't we link 2 routes together in Train Sim World? And there's only a handful of them that are linked. So it's not like every single route's going to be linked to another one, but that does open up that possibility and that potential. It could be their game engine. There's something that has given us this magic hour. I think it might be consoles that, all their routes are around this hour. It could be graphics. It could be the fact that there's so much to load in because of the high graphics detail, but other games manage it. You just load it in as you go, rather than load the whole thing in at once. So you can do it. I'd like to see longer routes. Fine. I'd rather see the ability to switch routes easier over a longer route. If I could do this route, as we said earlier, but switch this train for HST and still do it in a timetable mode, it'd make me want to do the route more. Because you then go for a period, like I was going to do with the Pacer on tour, to be able to then go, right, if you've got your favourite train in the game, take that on your favourite route. Okay, it might not be realistic, but it's your Train Sim world. Train Sim World uses Unreal Engine 4. So yeah, to mash routes together, easy. Where we've got West Coast Mainline South, what the game should be able to do is go, right, you've got West Coast Mainline South, that's loaded. Oh, you've got Bakerloo line. So we'll tack in the full Bakerloo line service. Or when you're on the Bakerloo line, it goes, oh, hang on a minute, you've got West Coast Mainline South here. So when you're on the overground bit on the Bakerloo line, you'll see the full thing running on the West Coast Mainline South. Oh, you got the Mildmay? Oh, in that case, we'll stitch the Mildmay together with the West Coast Mainline South and the Bakerloo line. So you can stop your Mildmay train, get off it, get on the Bakerloo line train, go to Paddington. Oh, you got Paddington. Oh, in that case, then you can then go up the stairs at Paddington, go to the tracks, get on a train, take that to Reading. It's got to be possible. And that would just be amazing if we got something like that. Multiplayer, yeah, be great. I'd like to see multiplayer, yes. I think that what we'll get first in multiplayer is Guard. I think it'll be 2-player multiplayer, and you'll be able to have a friend as your guard. I think that would be interesting. What I would love to see is the same sort of thing we've got in OMSI, and the same sort of thing as you get in ETS2, is having a virtual train company. I think that would step this up. To be able to start your own train company, and you buy a route, you buy a train, and then you and your mates go up and down that route, earning money by driving the same route up and down, that allows you to buy more trains, allows you to buy more routes, and your company rankings increase based on your profitability, based on your timekeeping, based on your passenger satisfaction, which is based on your driving ability, like there is in OMSI. So you don't need to see anybody in multiplayer, doesn't matter. but you're driving for the train company then, and have a global leaderboard where your train company is ranked against everybody else's train company. So what I would do, in the same thing as we do in OMSI, I'd go, right, here's the Sims and Stuff train company. Anyone wants to join, they can. Is all we ask is you drive once a week, in the same way as we do with OMSI. Awesome. So that's not proper multiplayer. That is all that is having something like, and even get the guy that does the flipping bus company in OMSI to do it. Is all that is having a back end that is taking the data from the game and putting it into another program that you run alongside. There's a map thing that works in this that shows your location in real time to other players in the world. I need to spend a bit of time in getting it working, but so it's possible to export this data. So that would be amazing. And we did say at the weekend, and you know, I have always said that I would never go back to do the bus again. I might actually retract that, because I'm intrigued to see how the bus works in multiplayer. That's one for the future anyway. But yeah, I think that in this, so not proper MP, but something where you drive for the common cause, would be awesome. I said if SCS did a proper one themselves for ETS2, then I would do more trucking. I've lost the love for OMSI because there's nothing new. The constant new routes in this just keep it fresh. I'm too old for all that, Michael. Don't forget, I had a chance a few years ago of working for a games publishing company. Because they liked me and they liked the way I did things. But then they wanted me to do things in a way that I wasn't comfortable with, so I turned it down. So I had my opportunity to work within the games industry. And yeah, for one video a week, no, sorry, for 2 videos a week, I could have quit my job. Bits of me now think, maybe I shouldn't have been so stubborn. I don't want to turn this into a negative stream, but sometimes you do realise that you are too old in life to just start doing new things, and maybe you should just be sat at home with your feet up. And that's the way I'm currently thinking. Though instead of gallivanting around the country, I maybe should be looking at doing stuff to the house and the garden and the things I haven't done for the last 5 years, 7 years. That does mean more streaming. So whether that does mean I do my spare room, I shift this into the spare room, make a new setup, freshen it up, tidy it up. You're only 26. Yeah, exactly. I am. But anyway, yeah, I am looking forward to the future. And if new routes that we're getting, it does have freight, yes. Actually, saying that, I'll have a look at the timetable when we get to the end. I'm sure it does. There is a little shunter in there. If the quality of routes we're going to be getting now is anything like the quality we've been getting over the last couple of months, then bring it on. Thomas, not really a new route, but awesome. Cardiff, amazing. Mildmay, really good. This, train's good, graphics good, route boring, not the game's fault. That's the route they chose. What did we get before Mildmay? I can't remember that far back. What happened to Manchester? Yeah, that was supposed to be out before Christmas. That's gone really quiet. I know we're getting the diesel rail tour for West Coast Mainline North coming out in 10 days time, so I'll be doing that. Then I don't know what's after that, So I know we've got the Tadami line coming up, and we've got the thingy barn, German one. The three, the seven, the one, the 8, and the 9, whatever it is. I think they could be good. Unfortunately, not the four routes, but a fair chunk of them. Yeah, Frankfurt, home of the sausages. It's getting a bit misty. Right, 2.6 miles to go. 2.2 miles, we got a 50. We are going to run a little bit late because I was getting excited about the future of Train Sim World. I bought Wreckfest 2 at the weekend. Won't be playing that again for a while. 4 tracks, 4 cars. That's not stream worthy. I'm toying with getting the 2-point museum. It's released about 2 years too early. But they released it to try and get money, which I sort of get. But that never used to be the case, did it? You used to buy a game, and I'm going back pre-internet. You used to buy a game, and you bought it, and it was the game. That was it. It worked. You had the full game done. It was ready to play when you bought it. Not, we're going to release a game. Oh, and here it is in early access 2 years before we're actually going to finish doing it because we need the money to finish it. And, you know, I'm not saying that having games with updates isn't a bad thing, because, you know, getting the game updated, bug fixing, if you fix the bugs, I'm looking at you, Giants, then it's great. But we've got to this society now where it's acceptable for the people playing the game and paying for the game are almost your beta testers. Right, we've got a red. God, I remember sitting, and I've said this before, typing in programs from a magazine, and you'd spend a couple of hours typing in a program and it didn't work. But you didn't get frustrated. What you did is you went, okay, we've obviously made an error there somewhere. Let's start again. And you start again. I remember spending all my Saturdays trying to get a game to work. Or when you did want to play a game, it took 10 minutes to load it. And yes, I am old. Alright, so you've got to wait for this red. And there's a red at the platform. There's a red halfway down the platform. So we are here. There's a red halfway down the platform. Well, that's because there's a train in that's got a red. Currently moving. You're not. Oh, hang on. Current speed. Yes, you are. Okay, you're going. All right. Once that's gone, then we would go into Meppel. Oh, right. There we go. Alright, the red's now at the end of the platform. It's probably not helping that we're 5 minutes late. That's why I'm stuck, because I shouldn't have been behind that train. Although, against Deutsche Bahn, this is practically on time. At least they haven't cancelled it. I've still got on the shelf, I think, behind me, Microsoft Train Simulator on CD. And I remember playing that and playing it for hours and hours and hours. That's why I like things like OpenTTD that we do. Not because it's something, that's the first game I ever stayed up all night playing. Sometimes something simple is good. We mentioned at the weekend about doing The Sims again. I really like that sort of simplicity. I've been loving the Roblox stuff we've been doing. The bingo and the golf. Because it's simple. So, you know, I love all these, the fact that, you know, look at this graphically. It's amazing. It's brilliant. But sometimes you just want something simple and easy to play. Good evening. All right, 14 miles to Zwolle. The end of the line. It's definitely got London Overground vibes, this train. But yeah, I'm liking the route. I think if I would have done the commuter one first, the route is better as a commuter route. So I think if I would have done this train first, not the other one, I would have had more of an appreciation for the route. It's actually not that bad. Going the other way, I wasn't a fan because you're just sat for half an hour on a straight bit of track at one speed. But this, having the stops, makes it better. And I really do like this train. You do miss Wreckfest. Yeah, that's why I was disappointed by the second one. And that's why, you know, I've been doing a lot of thinking about the multiplayer stuff that we do and my streams and streaming. And I have been giving thought to when I'm going to stop doing this. There's certain games that are good fun and have been good fun and are good fun. And there's certain things like this I really do enjoy. And we've been having discussions today about the farming. And although, you know, farming for me, for the community, isn't the same as it was 5 years ago, where, you know, we had a multiplayer farm and every day someone was on because they had that drive to do stuff. And you know, we had a couple of people that were constantly on the farm. One guy did 24 hours non-stop because there was always something to do. And whether that's the fault of 22 and 25 where the game's changed, or whether it's just that the community's changed, well, it means that that drive to do things like that has unfortunately gone. And I do enjoy the multiplayer stuff. I really enjoy the games that we do and the people that we do the MP with. But I am now thinking, is this something that I want to continue doing? Because I only want to do it if I enjoy doing it. Thankfully, from a train sim point of view, we've been getting this new content that is good, that does make me want to do it and to look forward to doing it. The downside is there's not a lot else. The thing is, Michael, I grew up gaming. It was, you know, ZX Spectrum, VIC-20, then a little bit of console with the Mega Drive, then into sort of 386 and 486 PC, then more back into console with the original PlayStation, then the original Xbox, then worked my way through the Xboxes and continued to be a console gamer up until, what, 8 years ago? When I wanted to try PC gaming. Because I used to do a bit of that back in the day, you know, Settlers and the original Microsoft Flight Sim and the original, I used to play 18 Wheels of Steel, American Trucker, the predecessor to ETS2. And then got into PC gaming because of joining someone's Google Plus group, which then encouraged me to do I had to put content on YouTube because we were doing Assetto Corsa, and then started watching a certain annoying furry one that was doing OMSI that I thought, that seems interesting. Started playing OMSI and then was told, well, why don't you record some content and put that out? And then just gaming on PC has been the norm. But don't forget, I don't do any gaming that you don't see. None. I wouldn't dream of like at the weekend, I wouldn't dream of coming upstairs and just putting the PC on and gaming. I don't, after the stream, sit here and game. No, the computer goes off, I go downstairs. And that's been the same, apart from farming, where we used to go on off stream and do stuff. That's been the same as long as I've been doing this. So as much as I enjoy it, and I'm not saying I'm only doing it because I'm doing it for doing this, I don't do it for me, which is another discussion I've had today. I don't do stuff for my benefit. I do stuff for your benefit. Which is why I want to interject it. I want to do stuff that's new. I like the fact that we did the Roblox golf. I like the fact that we tried the bingo thing. And I'm not saying that's going to be a regular thing. I'm not saying that's going to stick around. But I like doing new things. I want to try that entertainment stream to see if it's something that I get a kick from, and if you guys get a kick from. The entertainment Discord that we tried, I thought that there would be people in the Discord that would be interested in entertainment, and there was a couple of you. But then I forget that the Discord was aimed around people that are joining for gaming, not for entertainment. So the only way I'm going to be able to expand my enjoyment, which is entertainment, is to do something aimed at that. So I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I'll try something else. And I'm not saying, in 3 months' time I'm going to stop doing this, but I'm going to continue doing this as long as you guys are around and as long as I keep enjoying doing this. And yeah, Michael, don't forget, I've got no one outside of this community. I've got no family, I've got no other friends, nothing. So this community, when people say this community is everything to me, this community is everything to me. I went away for the weekend with 3 people from this community. The only people I communicate with during the day are from this community. If I stopped doing this, I would literally be on my own. So it's, packing up isn't something that's high on my agenda, but I do need to think at some point either my interest is going to stop, which means if I'm not interested in it and not enjoying it, that comes across on the streams. You guys aren't going to watch anymore. You guys aren't going to interact. And unfortunately, the situation we've got with some of the MP stuff at the moment is you guys aren't going to want to join in. So in order to get that to happen, I need to change things. And I need to work out what those things are so that we can get more people involved. We've tried to get people to join the MP farm. Doesn't work. None of us are interested in going on the MP farm. So do I just go, right, forget it, let's drop that and move on? I don't want to, because yesterday, and we've been saying this today, all of us enjoyed the farm. And I love the fact we all go on and we've all got this common goal. Right, let's get this field harvested. Get the crops into the pig food. Right, we need to get pig food production doing. We need to go and sell some stuff. We took out a 50 grand loan. We got to pay that back. Right, let's get some production going to pay that back. We were all driven. Unfortunately now, no one to go on the farm until the next time we stream it. So it's finding something else that gets everyone driven. The OMSI Bus Company did at first. People were going on, and people still do go on and drive to keep the bus company going. I've lost interest in it. We tried a thing in flight originally to try and do a multiplayer thing in flight. That didn't work. I would love to have done an ETS2 virtual trucking company if SCS had done it as an official thing, because that would give the motivation to drive. And what I said earlier, if Dovetail brought out a virtual train company add-on for this, I can pretty much guarantee at that point then I would knock every other game to the side. I would just be streaming this 6 days a week, because I would then want to drive to keep the company going, to get the rating up, to get money to buy more routes and more trains. And I'm sure other people would as well. The community is not the same as it was when I started doing this. The people in the community aren't the same as it was when I started doing this. The community evolves, it changes. Unfortunately, at the moment, this is the first time in 8 years where we've lost key members of the community and there's been no one new that's joined in. And that's not happened for a while. People come, people go, but in the past when people have gone, there's been people there that have stepped in and joined in and been part of the community and part of the streams, and it's been awesome. But unfortunately recently when we've lost people, it means that there isn't those people, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I put pressure on people to join the MP streams, which means they end up then possibly resenting that and feeling as though they've got to join the MP streams, which means they're not enjoying the MP streams, which means we don't enjoy the MP streams, and then that comes across badly. So I need to think about what I'm going to do to fix that. If it means I do less MP streams so that people can only be, around for the weekend ones, so I only do MP on like a Friday and Saturday like I used to, so that people can have their Monday to Thursday. If they want to watch the stream, they can. If they want to do their own thing, they can. If they're around to join in with the MP stuff on a Friday and Saturday, great. It could mean that I drop a day. The one at the moment I'm toying with dropping as a long-term thing is Sunday. My plans to leave the house at the weekends are diminishing, so I'm going to be around more weekends. Well, if that means then that I stream on a Saturday and maybe I drop the Sunday one and I stream on a Monday night, so that I get every Sunday off, but I stream on a Monday night. I don't know. I need to work out what's best for me, and I need to make sure that my enthusiasm continues and my enjoyment continues, and I don't get burnt out, and I don't get to the point like I used to with YouTube where I'm only streaming because I feel as though I have to stream. There was a lot of points when I was putting out 4 or 5 or 6 YouTube videos a week that I used to spend all my Saturday recording YouTube, and it was right, I've got to do an OMSI video, I've got to do a train sim video, I've got to do an ETS2 video, and it was almost like a production line thing, and it was as though I felt I had to do a video, not that I wanted to do a video. And I don't want that to be the case with the streams, and it's not. I'm sat up here earlier. I start streaming earlier. If I was, streaming late every day, then you'd know that I don't want to be here. I was sat downstairs at 20 to 6 going, is it too early to stream? So at the moment, yes, I'm still enjoying the streams, but I want to try and do something that makes them more enjoyable. Look, apologies if that's come across as being negative. For reasons that you all know, my weekend wasn't the best. With car issues, and the money that's going to potentially cost me is going to have a knock-on effect to things that I want to do. My personal life has been affected to a point where there's potentially some drastic changes coming there. I'm not enjoying my job currently, and yeah, today's and this weekend that should have been a time for me to be able to relax and forget the pressures of life. As good as a weekend as it was to get away from the house because of all the things that were going on, it meant that it maybe wasn't as enjoyable as it should have been. So I shall survive the next 3 days and then look forward to taking some time out this weekend to relax and unwind and contemplate my life. Michael, I know that. And I know you guys sometimes look to me to be the person that cheers you up after the end of a shit day. That's a buffer. And most of the time I try, but occasionally, being realistic, sometimes I have a shit day too. And sometimes just chilling on here helps me. And you know what? I never feel as though my little rants and talks go out there on the internet. I forget that. I just think I'm chatting to people that know me and they're listening. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that I should just keep my mouth shut. But sometimes it's good for me just to get stuff off my chest. Anyway. Okay, so I've got to say that return run, getting back to the game, was hello, Michael. That return commuter run was a lot better than the one going out. A lot better. So that's the ugly train. That was the high speed one. That's the commuter one. Really like that. Then you've got the shunter stuff, which is from Rhine-Ruhr. With, I don't know why they bothered, but okay, they're there. And then you've got the Vectron, which has got drive this tank train from Zwolle to Onen. Okay, let's jump in that quickly. I bet I can't drive the Vectron, because that's not going to be easy, is it? I had a Vectra, a company car. Didn't like it. Right. Master key on. Reverser into forward. Headlight signal cab. Okay. Sander. Train light on. Pantograph is up. Is that it? 5 tanker things. Okay. Shunting control. Direct brakes on hold. Train length. What? Why have we got a train length button? Train brake, full service, direct brake. Release that. Automated knob. Oh, that's the thing. Okay. Right. Can I get this thing moving? No. Okay. So that's an issue. Brake key. Master keys. Off. Horns off. Reverse neutral. That's in forward. Brake release. Oh, hang on. There we go. There's a brake release. Okay. Still nothing. See, this is why I don't drive the Vectron. Here's a B. Bottom right switches are down here. That's wipers. Aircon, aircon, aircon. Nope, see, that's why I don't drive the Vectron. We've got to go 51 miles over there. Okay, there we go. Well, there is freight, but we can't drive it. See, that brake's come back on again now. Passenger mode? Is there a mode? This hazard lights. Unless it's one of these. Oh God, no, no. Okay. Maybe I need to do the Vectron training to be able to do this again. There we go. Well, there is a Vectron, but we can't get it to move. There we go. If anybody knows how to drive the Vectron. That was the Flix. Oh, there you go. The Flix train thing's a Vectron thing as well, I think. There we go. Yeah, actually, the route got better. I was prepared to say it's a route you'll never see again. But maybe I need to learn how to drive the Vectron. The train, very good. Next week, we'll come back and do some more Thomas. We'll carry on with the timetable runs and a bit of Thomas action. And then the week after, I think we got the Diesel Rail Tour pack coming out for West Coast Main Line North, from memory. So we'll do that, and then more going forward. Tomorrow night, I've got no idea. Something. It may be one of those I'll decide when I come home from work. I'll install something and just fire it up. So something tomorrow night. Thursday night, we're back on the farm. Friday night, some trucking and tunes. Saturday night, some Roblox golf. Sunday afternoon, back on the farm. And then more stuff back next week. So there we go. So thank you, you lot in chat, for keeping me company and listening. It is really, really appreciated. It's only been one of those days. I've got 3 cans of Boddingtons in the fridge. They may not be there in about an hour and a half. But there we go. I will be back tomorrow night to do something. Until then, if you have been, thanks very much for watching.